Hello, grade 11, and welcome to a new PowerPoint lecture. Our theme is still environmental issues, but today we're going to take a lesson about the main drivers behind Amazon destruction. So basically we're talking about deforestation in the Amazon. By the way, this lesson is found on pages 38 till 43 in your comprehension ebook. Please, to study it well, you need to go back to the ebook and read the text and the vocab words, etc. Okay, so this is the second lesson of this chapter, Drivers Behind Amazon Destruction. It's a very recent article. It was written in 2020. So this is the latest on what's going on with deforestation, especially in the Amazon. First of all, we read the blurb, as you know, which contains the main idea of what you're going to read. Read the following article in which the author outlines the major drivers behind the destruction of the Amazon forest. When you are through, answer the questions that follow. Since 1978, over 750,000 square kilometers of Amazon rainforest have been destroyed across Brazil. So notice how the author started with a shocking fact. Obviously, why? To hook the reader's attention. Destroyed across Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Bolivia, Venezuela, Suriname, Guyana, and French Guiana. Those are all countries in South America. Why is Earth's largest rainforest being destroyed? So the text is going to be about the main drivers behind the destruction of the Amazon, the main causes. For most of human history, deforestation in the Amazon was primarily the product of subsistence farmers who cut down trees to produce crops for their families and local consumption. But in the later part of the 20th century, that began to change, with an increasing proportion of deforestation driven by industrial activities and large-scale agriculture. First of all, people used to cut down forests, to make small farms, feed their families, etc. Now, this is on a larger scale, linked to industries, factories, huge farms, industrial agriculture. By the 2000s, more than 3/4 of forest clearing in the Amazon was cattle ranching. Can you believe this? To make farms. Why is this the fact? You know that Brazil is known for exporting beef. Even us in Lebanon, we export beef from Brazil. In order to keep up with the demand of the world, what does Brazil have to do in order to build farms? Of course, clear more forest land. So 3/4, which is 75% of forest clearing in the Amazon, is for cattle raising or cattle ranching. The result of this shift is forests in the Amazon were cleared faster than ever before in the 1970s through the mid-2000s. Vast areas of rainforest were felled for cattle pasture and soy farms, drowned for dams, dug up for minerals, and bulldozed for towns and colonization projects. At the same time, the proliferation of roads opened previously inaccessible forest to settlements by poor farmers, illegal logging, and speculators. Logging is cutting wood, cutting trees to get their wood in order to use it for furniture and other things. Drivers of deforestation in Amazon countries. Notice how the writer puts subtitles here. Remember in the skills, why does the author use subtitles? In order to divide his or her article well, in order to make it easier for the reader to read the article. Obviously now, each subtitle is one reason behind deforestation. Cattle ranching is the leading cause of deforestation in the Amazon rainforest, as we said before. In Brazil, this has been the case since at least the 1970s. Government figures or numbers attributed 38% of deforestation from 1966 to 1975 to large-scale cattle ranching. Today, the figure in Brazil is closer to 70%. Most of the beef is destined for urban markets, whereas leather and other cattle products are primarily for export markets. But production of beef, leather, and other cattle products isn't the only reason for converting rainforest into artificial grassland, meaning farms. In a region where land prices are appreciating quickly, meaning increasing, cattle ranching is used as a vehicle for land speculation, much of which is illegal. Forest land has little value, but cleared pasture land can be used to produce cattle or sold to large-scale farmers, including soy planters. However, the situation, at least in the Brazilian Amazon, may be starting to change. Since 2009, major cattle buyers and the Brazilian government, pushed by environmental campaigners, have cracked down on deforestation for cattle production. State-run banks are now mandating landowners, they are forcing them to register their properties for environmental compliance in order to gain access to low-interest loans. Meanwhile, major slaughterhouses are where cattle are killed so that their beef is sold, have pledged stricter controls on their cattle sources to ensure they aren't driving deforestation or the use of slave labor on ranches. Such trends have yet to emerge in Peru, Bolivia, and Colombia, where cattle ranching remains a major driver of Amazon forest loss. So the information in paragraph 6 shows us that Brazil has started to do something about it, mandating or forcing landowners to have some environmental limitations or restrictions. However, in the rest of the countries mentioned, this is not the case. Colonization and subsequent subsistence agriculture. Historically, subsistence agriculture has been an important cause of deforestation in the Amazon. Small-scale agriculture, of course, agriculture is planting crops. Crops are plants that we eat, such as soy or corn, tomatoes, etc., has often been facilitated by government colonization programs aiming to alleviate urban population pressure by redistributing or granting rural land to the poor. In some cases, these programs have failed to meet their development goals, while simultaneously unleashing an environmental Armageddon. Armageddon, of course, like a disaster, huge disaster. So it was a totally floppy plan. Paragraph 8, for example, in the 1970s, Brazil's military dictatorship expanded its ambitious colonization program centered around the construction of the 2,000-mile Trans-Amazonian Highway. Imagine a highway this long in the middle of a forest, which would bisect the Amazon, meaning divide it into two, obviously opening the forest to a whole lot of logging and deforestation. So one, it's opening rainforest lands to settlement by poor farmers from the crowded drought-plagued north, and two, enabling the exploitation or the wrong use of timber which is wood, and mineral resources. So opening this highway has just opened up the forest to all sorts of illegal activities. Under the program, colonists would be granted 250-acre lot, 6 months salary. 250 acres is a lot of land. You might say 250,000 square meters. And easy access to agricultural loans in exchange for settling along the highway and converting the surrounding rainforest into agricultural land. So this was done by the government itself. This deforestation was caused by the government's horrible plan of making the Trans-Amazonian Highway and granting all those loans to farmers. The plan would grow to cost Brazil $65,000 to settle each family. Imagine that. Imagine the number of families. The project was plagued from the start, meaning it was haunted, it was doomed. The sediments of the Amazon basin rendered the highways unstable and subject to inundation. during heavy rain. So obviously this highway is not going to work. There is also the Amazon River, which would make it unstable, blocking traffic and leaving crops to rot. Harvest yields for poor farmers were dismal due to poor training and inadequate soils, which were quickly exhausted, necessitating more forest clearing. Logging was difficult due to the low density of commercially exploitable trees. Rampant erosion, up to 40 tons of soil per acre, occurred after clearing. Many colonists, unfamiliar with banking and lured by easy credit, went deep into debt. So it was horrible for both the government and the farmers themselves, who took those loans feeling greedy, thinking that they will get rich fast, and all of a sudden they didn't know what to do with it because they were totally inexperienced in this and didn't know how to manage in this kind of condition. Adding to the debacle or the issue was the environmental cost of the project. After the construction of the Trans-Amazonian Highway, Brazilian deforestation accelerated, sped up to levels never before seen. As I said, it just opened up the rainforest. Another reason, commercial agriculture, agriculture for selling. After the commercialization of a new variety of soybean developed by Brazilian scientists to flourish in rainforest climate, soy emerged as one of the most important contributors to deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon from the 1990s through the mid-2000s. Soy was both a direct and indirect deforestation driver. While forest was converted directly for soy fields, the crop's impact on rainforest was much larger, providing an impetus for new highways, driving up land prices, and thereby encouraging land speculation. Meaning you buy land and you wait a short time or a long time until its price elevates or increases, and then you sell it. That's what speculation means. And encouraging ranchers and small farmers to move deeper into rainforest areas, obviously causing more deforestation. But the situation in Brazil has changed significantly since 2006, when a high-profile campaign by Greenpeace, we all know that this pro-environment organization, forced Brazil's largest soy producers to commit to avoiding deforestation for new production. However, deforestation for soy is still widespread in Bolivia and Paraguay. So the issue is not that horrible nowadays in Brazil, but in countries like Bolivia and Paraguay, where there is Amazon forest, it still is. Okay, meanwhile, other forms of commercial agriculture, commercial meaning for trade, including rice, corn, and sugarcane, also contribute to deforestation in the Amazon, both directly through forest conversion and indirectly by driving up the land values. So people would want to buy more land. Logging, as we say, wood for use in different industries. In theory, logging in the Amazon is controlled by strict licensing, which allows timber to be harvested only in designated areas. But in practice, illegal logging remains widespread both in Brazil and Peru. Logging in the Amazon is closely linked with road building. Studies by the Environmental Defense Fund show that areas that have been selectively logged are 8 times more likely to be settled and cleared by shifting cultivators than untouched rainforest because of access granted by logging roads. Logging roads give colonists or settlers, people who settle in the Amazon, access to remote rainforest areas. So logging not only is it destroying the trees, it is also giving access to those people who want to settle there to areas which were once inaccessible because it's opening up roads. Other causes of forest loss in the Amazon. Historically, hydroelectric projects have flooded vast areas of Amazon rainforest, obviously because there's the Amazon River. The Balbina Dam flooded some 2,400 square kilometers of rainforest when it was completed. You know, when you want to produce electricity using water or hydropower, you need to build a dam. And you exploit this water pressure in order to produce energy in the form of electricity. Today, dams drive deforestation by powering industrial mining and farming projects. Hundreds of dams are planned in the Amazon basin over the next 20 years. So that the dam is horrible for the environment. It floods the land occasionally, and it is powering this electricity that's produced is powering industries that are in turn harming the environment in the Amazon. Mining has had a substantial impact in the Amazon. High mineral and precious metal prices has spurred unprecedented invasions of rainforest lands across Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, and Peru. A 2013 study found that the area torn up for small-scale gold mining increased 400% in 13 years. Let's not forget that this area, the Amazon area, is full of precious metals like gold. It's full of precious stones, etc. So people would want to exploit this. And in order to dig for those minerals and those precious stones, obviously you have to clear the forest. Recently, oil and gas development has been fueling environmental concerns in the Western Amazon. Large blocks of rainforest have been granted for exploration and exploitation license in recent years. So as you notice, the issue is ongoing as per the conclusion here. New licenses are granted to exploit the land, to dig up for minerals and other important things. Now let's move on to the exercises. Answer the following questions, of course, obviously questions using complete sentences of your own. According to paragraph 2, how did the drivers behind deforestation change? First of all, it was just used for feeding your own family. You would plant a small piece of land in the Amazon to feed your own family and consume. Later on, it became more tied to industrial farming, to industries, to making more money on a wider scale. 2, what is the main cause of deforestation in Brazil? What percentage of all deforestation activities is it? We said it was cattle ranching, raising cattle for beef, and it is around 70% of all deforestation in that place. Refer to paragraphs 8 and 9 to name 3 negative effects of the construction of that Trans-Amazon highway. Obviously, we said that it is giving more access to illegal activities, illegal logging, illegal colonization of the Amazon rainforest. And then the pronoun reference, we'll see them one by one. Those are the answers. Please go through the PowerPoint and read the answers carefully. Don't just go skim through them like that. They are important for your quiz. Now the pronoun reference. I displayed the paragraph for you. That in paragraph 2 began to change. What began to change? Okay. Deforestation in the Amazon was primarily the product of subsistence farmers who cut down trees to produce crops. Okay, what began to change is why the Amazon trees were being cut. Okay, they were not for local consumption or feeding small families. They, in paragraph 6, meanwhile, major slaughterhouses where animals are killed and their beef is taken have pledged stricter controls on their cattle sourcing to ensure they aren't driving deforestation. They obviously refers to slaughterhouses. Paragraph 8, the plan. The plan, when you read this paragraph, you will know that the plan is the Trans-Amazonian Highway. Okay? Now, you will have a lot of this in your quizzes and in your tests. You would have to go back to the paragraphs in order to fill information from the text. Driver of deforestation, cause of deforestation, cattle ranching. What are the objects obtained or products obtained? Beef and leather, mostly, that's what they mentioned. Commercial agriculture, of course, soy, sugarcane, rice, the ones mentioned in the text. Logging, what you get for logging? Wood, timber. Okay? So those are the answers for this part. Now, this is what I want you to do. This is posted as worksheet in your school app. I want you to reread the article carefully from pages 38 to 41 and read the skills on pages 27 to 32. Of course, I've gone through those skills, but I want you to go through them again because they're important for answering the questions. Answer exercises C, D, and E on pages 42 and 43 in your ebook, and it is posted, as I said, as a worksheet on the app. So thank you for listening, and till we meet again, bye bye.